So this video is for integrated 1. This is from the block number 1 classwork, Tuesday for period 3 and Wednesday for period 6. So this is solving equations, okay? All of these problems are solving equations, and a lot of them are different ones. So these first problems, problem number 1, what we're going to do is we have a parenthesis. So we need to distribute this 3. This 3 is really multiplying with both the x and the 1. So 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 1 is 3 equal 12. Okay, let me draw my line down here. And then what I'm going to do is I need to get rid of that plus 3. This is now a 2-step problem. So I'm going to minus 3 here, minus 3 here. And when I do that, I end up with 3x is equal to 9. I'm going to divide by 3. I'm going to divide by 3. And when I do that, I end up with x is equal to 3 as my final answer. Now on one like number 2, I am going to distribute the 6 to both the c and the 2. Does not affect the 1. So 6 times c is 6c. 6 times 2 is a positive 12, so I need to write plus 12. And then I have my plus 1 equals 2. So now I'm going to draw my line down. And then what I want to focus on always is if I'm looking on this side of the equal, can I clean up anything? Can I combine like terms? Can I make this a little simpler? So when I have a 6c plus 12 plus 1, that's really a 6c plus 13 equal 2. So now I'm going to do a 2-step problem. I'm going to get rid of the 13 by minusing 13 from both sides. I get 6c is equal to negative 11. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 6. And c is going to equal negative 11 over 6. And that's your answer. On number 3, the parentheses are on the other side, but I'm still going to distribute. The 50 goes with the x and the 3. So I'm going to have 500 equals 50 times x is 50x. 50 times 3 is 150, and it's a positive, so I write a plus. And then if I draw this down, it is a 2-step problem. I need to get rid of the 150, then the 50. So I'm going to minus 150 from both sides. And when I minus 150 from both sides, I end up getting 350 is equal to 50x. Now I'm going to divide both sides by 50. And when I do this, I'm going to end up getting on this side x equal. And here, what I'm going to do is if I have a 0 on top and bottom, that's really like me dividing out a 10. So it's really 35 over 5. Or if I do that math, 35 divided by 5 is 7. On number 4, oops, there's 3 again. Number 3, it's a different 3. Okay, so on this one, again, I'm going to distribute this 3 to x and then 3 to the 1. So I am going to have a 5x plus, and then 3 times x is 3x, and then 3 times 1 is 3 equal 12. And then when I'm looking at this, I'm looking at both sides of the equal. On this side of the equal, I can clean that up a little bit. So what I can do is I have a 5x plus a 3x plus a 3. So I can clean that up to an 8x plus 3 equal 12. And now I have a 2-step problem. I am going to get rid of the 3 by minusing 3, and then get rid of the 8 by dividing by 8. So first thing I'm going to do is minus 3 from both sides. And when I do that, I'm going to get 8x is equal to 9. Now I'm going to get rid of the 8 by dividing by 8. And I'm going to get x is equal to 9/8. And 9/8 is not a nice answer. So just leave it. You don't need to give it to me as a decimal. Okay, on 4. Similar problem again. We're going to distribute 3 times c and 3 times a -2. So 3 times c is 3c. 3 times a -2 is a -6. So I'm going to go -6. And then I have a +1 is equal to 7c. So now if I draw my line down, I again want to pay attention to, do I have like things on the same side of the equal? So I have a 3c -6 + 1. So that's going to be a 3c -5 equals 7c. So in this problem, I have my c's on both sides. So when you have your variable on both sides, you want to get it on one side. So what I'm going to do is either I'm going to subtract 7c or I'm going to subtract 3c. It's subtracting 3c is what I want to do, because that way I get my c's on one side and my number on the other side. So when I do that, I'm going to get a -5. We want to make sure we bring down our negative. Okay. Equal, and 7c minus 3c is 4c. Then I'm going to divide by 4, divide by 4. And when I do that, I am going to end up getting a -5/4 is equal to c. And that's our answer. On 5, okay, again, I'm going to distribute. So I am going to have a 5x equal 2 times x is 2x. 2 times a +3 is a +6. So I'm going to have a +6. And again, when I'm looking at this, looking at both sides of the equal, on this side, I have a 2x + 6 - 1. That can clean up, whoops, that can clean up to a 2x + 5 equal 5x. Now, again, we have x's on both sides. So what I'm going to do is I am going to minus my 2x, because that way my x's come to get on one side. So I get 3x is equal to 5. I am going to divide by 3, divide by 3. And my final answer is going to be x is equal to 5/3. Okay. Number 6, you want to be careful here. Do not do this. Do not go 6 minus 3 and give me 3. Oops. And give me 3. That's a no-no. Okay. We have to do what's in the parentheses first. So, or in this case, actually, I need to take the -3 and distribute it, because that's multiplication. That comes before any addition or subtraction. So I'm going to have 6. And then that's a -3 times 2x, which is a negative, let me write that better, a -6x, a -3 times 4, which is a -12 equal 10. Then what we're going to do is we are going to see if we can combine any like terms. So here we can do a little bit of combining. I have a 6 minus 6x minus 12. So I got to do the 6 minus 12. That's going to be a -6 minus 6x equals 10. So now I have a two-step problem. I'm going to get rid of the -6. So I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to add 6 to both sides. And I get a -6x is equal to 16. I divide by a -6. I divide by a -6. And I end up with x is equal to -16/6. Now I can reduce this. 2 goes into the top 8 times, -8 times, and 2 goes on the bottom 3 times. And so I can write it as a -8/3 if I want. On 11, okay, again, do not do the 10 plus 3. I need to multiply the 3 with this first. So I'm going to get a 10 plus 3x, and the 3 times a -5 is a -15. Okay, and then again, as we're looking at this, if I'm looking on this side of the equal, can I clean this up? So then if I do that, I'm going to end up getting a negative 5 because of the 10 minus 15 plus 3x equals 7. And now I'm going to solve this. So I'm going to do that by doing a two-step problem. I'm going to add 5 to both sides. And when I do that, I end up with a 3x is equal to 12. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3. I'm going to divide both sides by 3. And when I divide both sides by 3, I get x is equal to 4. Now on number 12, again, I'm going to distribute first. I have to multiply that negative 3. Do not do 7 minus 3. Do not do that. So negative 3 is going to multiply with x, and negative 3 is going to multiply with 2. So I'm going to have a 7. Negative 3 times x is a negative 3x. Negative 3 times 2 is a negative 6 equal 12. I am going to look on this side and see if I can combine like terms. And I can. I have a 7, a minus 3x, and a minus 6. So it's really going to be 7 minus 6. That's going to be 1 minus 3x equals 12. I now have a two-step problem. I'm going to minus 1 from both sides to get rid of that 1. When I do that, I drop this down. I get a negative 3x is equal to 11. I am going to divide both sides by a negative 3. Okay, not just a 3, a negative 3. And I'm going to get x is equal to negative 11 thirds. And that's our answer. Okay, now these ones are literal equations. And for these ones, you have to pay attention to what they want to solve for. They want to solve for y. So in each of these, I'm trying to get the y by itself. So I'm trying to get the y by itself. That's what I'm focusing on, is the y in each of these. Okay. So on this very, very, very first one, when I'm doing this, whoops, wanted to get it to be not pink. When I'm doing this, I want the y by itself. So I'm going to minus x. I'm going to minus x. And when I do that, I end up with y equal c minus x. And I'm done. That's it. That's my answer. So on 14, I again want to get my y's by themselves. So to get my y by itself, first thing I want to do is get that term with the y, the by. I want to get that by itself. So I am going to get rid of the ax. I'm going to minus ax. I'm going to minus ax. And when I do, I'm going to end up with by is equal to c minus ax. Now I want to get the y by itself. I don't want that b multiplying with it. So I'm going to divide this by b, and I can either divide this by b separately and get c over b minus ax over b, or I can divide this whole thing by b. Okay, they're both the same answer. So I'm going to get y is equal to c minus ax all over b. So on 15, the term with the y is already by itself. Okay, so what I need to do is get the y by itself. And what's happening is I have an AB multiplying with it. So I'm going to divide by AB. I'm going to divide by AB. And I end up with y is equal to C over AB. And that is our answer. Okay, on 16, I want to get the y by itself. So I want to not have this x here, so I'm going to minus x, and I'm going to minus x. Now, notice I kind of wrote my minus x off to the side because it doesn't match with a b and it doesn't match with a c. They can't combine, so I'm going to get a b plus a c minus x, and that's your answer. Okay, on 17, first thing I want to do is I want to get this negative ay by itself. So I have that dx that is adding on, so it's a positive dx minus ay. So I want to get rid of that dx by minusing dx from both sides. And when I do, you want to be careful. There's a negative in front of your ay is equal to c minus dx. And then whatever number is in front, that's what I want to divide by, okay? So I am going to divide by a negative ay, divide by a negative ay. And my answer is going to be y is equal to c minus dx all over negative a. Okay, on 18, now on this one, let me just kind of undo the highlights I did here. So again, we are solving for y. And what I want to focus on is I've got stuff on this side and I have stuff on this side. So on the side with the green, can I combine any like terms? Well, I have a 2y and a 3y, which is going to make a 5y plus ab equal. And on the other side, I have a 7ab plus 5y. I can't do anything with that. Then what I'm going to do is let me get the ab's together. So I'm going to minus ab. I'm going to minus ab. And when I do, I end up with 5y is equal to 6ab plus 5y. Now, something funny is going to happen because I have a 5y on both sides. So when I minus 5y here, and I minus 5y here, on the left side, I am going to be left with 0. Okay, you write a 0 when you have absolutely nothing else left there. On the other side, I have a 6ab. Now, this one is a little tricky because I have two things multiplying together and giving me 0, and my y's disappeared. So this is going to be so it's going to be everything is an answer. And you might say, well, this is false. Well, it could be true. Okay, so everything is an answer if a equals 0 or b equals 0. But if a or b are 0, then there's no solution. Okay, what does it mean to solve for a variable? How do you know you're correct? Use 14 to justify your thinking. So just in general, when we are solving for a variable, you're trying to find every answer for that you could substitute in for that variable that's going to make your equation true. So when they say 14, okay, this one, if I knew what C, A, X, and B were, I could substitute them in. For these literal equations, if they're asking you to solve for these literal equations for a particular letter, they're asking you to rewrite it to be that letter equal. So in these cases, they want us to solve for y. So all of them are going to be y equal, okay? So hopefully this video will help you when you guys are doing your classwork, understanding how to solve the equations. If you have more questions, please feel free to email me.